Welcome to Assessment Feedback Video 2. This one is all about improving your explanations. Remember that explanations need to be in your own, say it with me now, words. And that's exactly what we're going to practice in this video. So, we're going to look at question 8. Just in case you've forgotten, let's have a look at what we're supposed to be doing for question 8. In question 8 it says, how does Gawain show he is brave in this poem? Use evidence, that's the copying or quoting part, from the poem, and explain, that's your own words, what it means. Okay, so I've already started. For my response to question 8, I've said, in this poem, we can tell Sir Gawain is brave because he keeps his promise to the Green Knight. For example, it says, you have timed your arrival like a true traveler. That's a quote that I took from line 3. Now I have to explain what that quote means. I have to show my teacher or the person marking my assessment that I understand the language in the poem. So I know, timed your arrival like a true traveler. This is telling me that Gawain has turned up on time to meet the Green Knight. So that's what I'm going to say. This quote shows that Gawain has, now it says in here arrival, but I was about to say has arrived. I don't want to repeat that because it's really close to the word that's already here. I need to come up with my own word. It doesn't necessarily have to be fancier, it just needs to be my own. So I'm going to say, this quote shows that Gawain has turned up on time. Now, I could show off a little bit and make it clear that I know what time he was supposed to be there. And that is on, do you remember the holiday? It was New Year's Day. Okay, so I've shown that I know what time he's shown up. Sorry, that was a bit confusing. This quote shows that Gawain has turned up on time on New Year's Day. So I've shown I know exactly what's happened in that bit of the poem. But I might want to dig a little bit deeper. What does it tell me that Gawain has turned up on time? Why is that important? So I'm going to add a bit about that. Gawain is honest and honorable because he has followed the Green Knight's instructions. So that's quite a bit. If I, as a teacher now, were marking this assessment, I'm probably going to give this person at least a mark for the evidence, so that's 1. I'm going to give them a mark for explaining exactly what's happened, that's 2. I might even get another mark here for talking about Gawain's character. How do we feel about him? What do we learn about his personality? So that could be 3 marks, right there just for one bit of evidence. So I know that this question, if I go back to the original paper here, is worth 8 marks. So I'm going to have to do that at least 1, probably 2 more times to get what I need. So I've got 3 marks here for this bit, but I need 8, so I still need 5 more. So probably 2 more bits of evidence. So I could choose some more evidence and explain it. I'm not going to write it all out because we'll be here all day if I do that. I'm just going to point out some other evidence I could use and talk about what it might mean. So lots of people talked about this bit here. Pull your helmet from your head and take what you're owed. So the idea that Gawain owes him something, you could talk about how that means he's brave. Show no more struggle than I showed myself when you severed my spine with a single smite. So these are the instructions the Green Knight is giving him. I could talk about how Gawain's willingness to take what he's owed, right, means again that he is honest and honorable, or that he is trustworthy. I could think of some other words that might mean similar things. I could also look a bit further in the poem, when Gawain himself begins to speak, and that's quite a good place to look for evidence. No, said good Gawain, by my life-giving God, I won't gripe or begrudge the grimness to come. And that line right here is an excellent one, because Gawain is agreeing. He's not going to complain about what's going to happen to him, the beheading. So if I could explain that using the word complain instead of gripe, and grimness to come, which means the beheading, that's going to earn me a mark. If I went on and said a little bit more about his personality, that it means that he is going to hide his fear, that he is going to be stoic, or that he's going to be calm, even in the face of fear, that would all be great things to say and would earn me marks. We also have this little bit here, which lots of people use. I'll stand stock still. It's a nice bit of alliteration. And you could talk about that. You could talk about how the poet has used alliteration to emphasize these words, which show that Gawain is going to hide his nervousness. If you're nervous, you tend to move around a lot. But if he's going to stand stock still, he's going to control that nervousness, which perhaps shows his bravery, right? And that would connect to the question. We also have these other ones here. Won't whisper a word of unwillingness or one complaint. Those would be other good things to comment on. What I don't want to do is repeat the words that are in the quote. I don't want to use still. I don't want to use the word complaint. Those are in the text already. So in my explanations, I need to use other words. You could plan for that. You could say not move instead of be still. Or you could say he's going to be calm, would be another way to put it. Instead of complaint, you could say whining or arguing or disagreeing. So one thing you can do when you're planning your explanations is annotate the poem with some ideas for other words you can include in your explanations. And that way, when it comes time to actually write your answer, you can include them here. I hope that's helpful. Thanks.